Have you ever wondered how a relatively small English army could triumph over a much larger French force in the Battle of Crécy? This significant battle from the Hundred Years' War is a fascinating study in strategy and leadership. The key players? King Edward III of England and King Philip VI of France. Two monarchs, one battlefield, and an outcome that defied all expectations. To understand this, we must delve deep into the events that unfolded on that fateful day in 1346. The 26th of August, 1346, a day of reckoning for the English and French armies. Picture a battlefield amidst the rolling hills of northern France, the air heavy with anticipation. Two armies stand opposed, each confident in their strength and strategy. On one side, King Edward III of England, leading a force of roughly 10,000. His approach was unconventional, choosing to fight on foot alongside his men rather than on horseback, a tactical decision that would prove pivotal. He positioned his forces on a sloping hillside with archers flanking the infantry, their deadly longbows poised to strike. Across the field, King Philip VI of France at the helm of an army nearly 3 times the size of Edward's. He was resolute in his belief that numerical superiority would ensure victory. Yet this confidence may have been his undoing. As the French charged, the English stood their ground, their fate hanging in the balance. The first wave of French knights charged only to meet a hailstorm of English arrows. The air was filled with the deadly hiss of arrows, raining down on the French knights. Encased in their heavy armor, they trudged forward, their courage unyielding, their resolve unbroken. Now let's shift our focus to the English longbowmen. These men were not knights. They were ordinary folk, farmers and artisans who had been trained to use the longbow. Their arrows were their lifeline, their salvation. With each release, they didn't just aim to strike a knight, they aimed to shift the course of history. In the midst of the chaos, key characters emerged. The English king, Edward III, watched from a windmill's height, directing his troops with the precision of a maestro. His son, the Black Prince, fought on the front lines, embodying the spirit of English courage and resilience. On the French side, King Philip VI, undeterred by the wave of arrows, led his men with a lion's heart. But the French knights, weighed down by their armor and their losses, were struggling. The English longbowmen, with their range and speed, had turned the tide. The French launched wave after wave of attack, but each was met with an unyielding wall of English arrows. With every wave that crashed against the English line, the French hope dwindled and the balance shifted. As the dust settled on the battlefield, the scale of the English victory became evident. The Battle of Crécy, fought on August 26, 1346, was not merely an isolated engagement, but a pivotal event that shaped the course of the Hundred Years' War and indeed the trajectory of warfare itself. In the aftermath of the battle, the French were left reeling, their army decimated. Historians estimate that the French lost between 1,000 and 2,000 knights and squires, a significant proportion of the French nobility of the time. The English, on the other hand, lost just a few hundred men, a testament to their superior strategy and the power of their longbowmen. But the impact of Crecy extended far beyond the immediate casualties. The battle marked a seismic shift in military tactics and technologies. The English longbow, a simple weapon made of yew, proved devastatingly effective. With a range of up to 250 yards and capable of piercing even plate armor, the longbow outmatched the French crossbow in every aspect. The Battle of Crécy undermined the traditional dominance of cavalry and heralded the rise of infantry. No longer could knights in armor charging on horseback expect to sweep all before them. Instead, it was the English foot soldiers armed with longbows who dominated the battlefield, their disciplined volleys of arrows cutting down the French forces. This battle also underscored the importance of strategy over sheer numbers. Despite being significantly outnumbered, the English used the terrain to their advantage, positioning their forces on high ground and forcing the French to attack uphill. The result was a decisive English victory that altered the balance of power in the Hundred Years' War. In the long term, the Battle of Crécy changed the face of warfare. It demonstrated the power of new technologies and strategies, challenging traditional norms and ushering in a new era of military history. The Battle of Crécy, a testament to strategic brilliance and a turning point in military history, continues to echo through the ages. The